Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Joy News. Today we're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemne. We're on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, President Akufo-Addo appoints Justice Gertrude Tokono as new Chief Justice. How much of her do we know and what does she bring on board? Well, former Attorney General Aisha Ibrahim has high expectations of her. Also this afternoon, Charge begins initial assessment of petition alleging illegal mining by top government officials to determine whether it's a matter that falls within its mandate. More, as lawyers for the MP who filed the petition believes there is enough basis for a full-scale probe. And later today, on Climate Focus, we'll tell you about a farmer in the Upper East region who is on a massive tree planting exercise to restore degraded lands. We have details plus business, sports, world news, and showbiz coming up shortly. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay for more. President Akufo-Addo has nominated Justice Gertrude Tokono as the new Chief Justice. The President, in a letter to the Council of State on Tuesday, April 25, said her nomination is to avoid any vacuum that would occur following the retirement of the current Chief Justice Kwesi Niniaboa on May 24. Justice Mrs. Tokono, this nomination will be vetted by Parliament and approve her nomination on otherwise. She will become the third female Chief Justice in the history of Ghana after Justices Georgina Theodora Wood and Sophia Akufu. So who is she and what will she bring to the table upon her successful vetting and confirmation? Here is more in the following report.
Gertrude Tokono hails from Winneba in the central region of Ghana. She was born on 11 September 1962 in Cape Coast. She attended Wesley Girls High School where she obtained her ordinary level certificate and at Chimoto School for her advanced level certificate. She's an alumnus of the University of Ghana and graduated from the Ghana School of Law in 1986. In 2001, Gertrude Tokono obtained a postgraduate diploma in international law and organization from the International Institute of Social Studies, part of Erasmus University in the Netherlands. In 2011, she graduated from the Golden State University, USA with an LLM in intellectual property law. Justice Tokono began her legal career as a volunteer at the FIDA Legal Aid Service and did an internship with Nabarro Nathanson in London. She later joined the Fugger & Co law firm in Accra as an associate legal practitioner. In 1994, she became a director at the same firm. In January 1997, she co-founded Sozo Law Consult, where she worked as managing partner until the 14th of May 2004, when she was appointed as Justice of the High Court of Ghana. She worked as a High Court judge until October 2012, when she was elevated to the Court of Appeal. Justice Tokono was subsequently nominated to the Supreme Court of Ghana in November 2019 and sworn into office on 17th December 2019. Justice Tokono has held several leadership roles in the judicial service. In her work as chairperson of the E-Justice Committee, she's led the planning of automation of all levels of courts, procurement, and incorporation of the use of electronic resources and software in the work of the judicial service. She's also served as the supervising judge of commercial courts since 2013, where she sets the agenda for and chaired meetings and programs of the Users Committee of the Commercial Courts.
Well, former Attorney General Aisha Ibrahim says Justice Gertrude Tokono has a temperament required to be Chief Justice. Congratulating the Chief Justice-elect, Mr. Aisha Ibrahim urged her to work tirelessly to deal with delays in the justice system.
Both as a lawyer and a judge, I think she has held herself well. Our friends were known to be legal brainless. When we get into our element, sometimes we can, be driven by passion and do things. But she's not that type. I'm not aware that I've seen her having any manifest or having any difficulty, situations with anybody. She flew. She flowed seamlessly, I remember when I was the secretary of the bar or so, there was this sharpening scholarship or something that we received from the UK, and I put up that notice, and she applied and won, and went abroad. For that, I've forgotten, but I know it should be somewhere in her field. So I've known her. She was called to the bar in 86. I was called to the bar in 81. So we were already there when she came. And so we've known her. She's okay by our standards. She's okay by our standards.
One of the biggest issues which has confronted successive Chief Justices is legal education in the country. According to Aikwe Otu, there's a precedent Justice Gertrude Tokono may follow if confirmed as Chief Justice, but also she can choose to chart a new course.
No, as lawyers, we follow precedent. So I'm sure that the precedent will be there to guide her. It is for her to decide on her own whether she wants to follow the precedent or break away from the precedent. But they are there. I mean, the headache that everybody has is how do people get entrance into the law school. And so the former Chief Justices came out with the idea of an independent legal board, examinations board. So they will set the examinations and marks, and if you pass, you'll be taken. I remember that some of us had to kick against the interview aspect because it didn't make one sense. You pass an exam, then you go for an interview, say you have failed. What question did you ask? Did they ask who was your father? Or who is your father? What work does he do? They say you have failed. It doesn't make sense. So after some agitation, they decide to take it out. Now it is the numbers. I have advocated with others that look, let the law faculties handle the professional courses, and then let everybody who thinks is qualified write only one bar finals, which they do abroad, because we have Grayson, we have Lincoln Singh, we have the other in. You go and do all you want to do in your in. If you say you are ready, come and write only one bar final. If you pass, you'll be called to the bar. Now we are having difficulty because we are being told that the faculties do not have what it takes to teach the professional course. And so you have a lot of pressure coming in. She would definitely have to deal with that issue as well, because people keep complaining and asking for more space.
Let's stick with legal matters. Shraj has commenced an initial assessment of petitions submitted by Member of Parliament for South Dai calling for an investigation into allegations of corruption against top government officials and allies involved in illegal mining. The petition was based on a 37-page document authored by the former chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. Here's the Commissioner of Shraj, Joseph Withal.
We received it and we are studying it. The next steps will be to acknowledge it tomorrow, and then we'll determine whether by an interim assessment or an initial assessment, whether the allegations that have been made really trigger the mandates of the Commission. It depends on what is in the petition and what has been attached as part of the documents which were brought in by the petition. After studying them, we may undertake a preliminary investigation. We may even invite the lawyer for further and better particulars in respect of aspects of the petition. When we are satisfied that clear allegations have been made which trigger proceed to determine who are the respondents in this particular case. Because, the report is quite broad, touches so many people, and so the ones who are germane will certainly be the ones we will look for. And then we would request them to make any comments that they have, of course, as natural justice will require. And then the next steps will be determined by the procedures of the commission.
What would you tell those who say, does this necessarily fall within the purview of STRAJ?
Well, I can give you a general answer because it's a matter that we're yet to go into. But as a matter of rights, you know, the environmental rights exist. They are rights by themselves, which public officers and public institutions owe to the people of Ghana. And so to the extent that fiduciary relationships have been established between public officials in terms of their role in safeguarding the environment, if allegations have been made, those allegations certainly will be triggering the human rights mandate. But as I said, I'm speaking generally, if it comes to the petition, we'll look at the specifics of the petition and to what extent they trigger which aspects of the human rights mandate in respect of the
Representing the MP, Roxanne Dafiamekpo lawyer Nick Papo Ado argues the report contains sufficient evidence to justify a full-scale investigation.
Clearly, the president has given a signal that he's not interested in the report. We think that as a former minister of environment, he's a man of stature. Professor Boate is not just any ordinary person. And the allegations he makes are not bare allegations. These are allegations that he has supported with facts, letters. And in fact, in his other two responses he made, he added more facts, more letters. And so this is somebody that we believe, given the proper forum, independent forum, where he knows he has no fear for his life and he knows he will be protected, which STRAJ has the mandate to do, I'm sure he will even give us more. We cannot brush this under the carpet. Unfortunately, we cannot agree with the president that this is something that can be brushed under the carpet. We refuse to brush it under the carpet because this is not an issue that is simply one for us to just take for granted. This is not one of the things that you, as they say, he can clear. This is a matter that borders on life and death. This is a matter that touches our water bodies. This is a matter that touches on the economic rights of the people that are in those areas affected. Farming, for example. All those areas are complaining about farming issues. The fact that their farming and cash crops are being destroyed. The pollution of the soil, the pollution of the water bodies. These are human rights matters. And so I'm sorry. But if the president thinks that this is hearsay, we disagree with him. That is why we've come to the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, and we expect to get justice.
The Ghana Small-Scale Miners Association, however, shares this view on the need for a probe and believes only this can win the trust of citizens in the fight against illegal mining. The National Democratic Congress has served notice of formally petitioning Parliament and the Office of the Special Prosecutor to initiate full-scale investigations into the Al Jazeera Gold Mafia documentary as it relates to Ghana and the Galamsey report of Professor Frimpong Boateng. Let's get on to other stories. Caterers under the school feeding program say they will not yield to intimidation to resume work. For about 3 weeks, the caterers have withdrawn their services in demand for payment of arrears and an increase of the cooking grant per child from 97 pesos to 3 cedis. They want leadership of the program to desist from issuing threats in addressing their challenges. Nana Aljima has more.
Representatives of caterers from other regions joined those in Ashanti for the press conference. About a week before the group withdrew their services, they received the first term payment of the same year, an amount they say does not cover the full term. Most caterers say they are being chased by the suppliers and banks where they secured loans for the contract. They are unwilling to return to cooking for the pupils.
Mrs. Kwashiga is provoking us that this kind of job is a sacrificial job and is the work of God. And we want to tell her that God hasn't called us to come and preach to the children. And we cannot go and borrow to come and cook for the children for free. We are fed up. We want our money and we want an increment. And they should also stop telling the caterers that we don't have any right to talk. We want to tell her that we have every right because we all work for the government to come to power. And so we need our money. We need it. Without the money, we are not going back to cook.
Many of the caterers were contracted to serve hot meals in schools in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. Some of the caterers are still owed by the government.
Meal. Ya wahaya na nado dan kwa Kufuado beka say. Watia sika to honom say yemfa no aduane ma JHS fo nkwara. Ebe tron so hwede akọ secondary.
She says, we were contracted to cook for the pupils in junior high school within the COVID-19 era. We did the work satisfactorily. We were made to add an egg to every meal. To date, some of us haven't been paid.
Eti aduane bia wo beye bia wo di kosua to so. E di go take away pack mu di atere ka ho. Na wo di nsu aka ne ho. Fi se sa abre no, ne am obi anto aduane wo school mu ho. Eye we mu nyina e wo ya ban din mu. But e wie ye no, sika no ama.
Meanwhile, the caterers are pointing to some anomalies in the school feeding program and have called for an audit.
There are a lot of ghost names, ghost schools. That ghost schools, we want you to go deeper into it and bring that evidence out, because there are kululu over there, ghost names, thousands of ghost names. They should stop doing that. They are causing financial loss to the state. We are telling them.
Deductions, the illegal deduction by the secretariat. Madam is my head of school. She monitors me what I do every day. And she forwarded the information to Accra. Now Accra says that I did not cook. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Our caterers are suffering, and it has a very serious political consequences for the government if they will not clean up the secretariat. Over 11,000 caterers are suffering, and the government says because of one person or two people at the secretariat, they don't care. Government will live to regret if they don't address this issue urgently.
For Joy News, Nana Ojima, Kumasi.
Let's go to the Ashanti region and speak with Nana Boachi Adom, who's been visiting some schools. Nana, tell us, from the schools that you visited, what's the impact of the absence of the caterers?
Okay, thank you very much, Aisha. This morning, we've been to some of the basic schools in the Ashanti region to check up on the impact of this situation after caterers boycotted cooking for pupils in some of the schools in the region. We've spoken to some of the school authorities and then parents who are key stakeholders in these matters. What we realized is that today, some of the schools, some of the caterers in some of these basic schools have resumed work. A school like the State Experimental Basic School 2 and Basic School 1, and then also the Aida Basic School, some of the caterers have started work. They've come back to post and they are cooking for the kids. Any moment from now, we've also visited some of the schools in the rural areas and then some of the urban areas too. We've spoken to school authorities on the matter where they are telling us that it was quite unfortunate when the strike was in process, where students were not really coming to school. We saw a low attendance today since we boycotted cooking for the people. But as we speak, we can see that some of the cases have started coming back to the schools, but not fully. We can record about 30% of cases in some of these basic schools.
What are the authorities and even the school children themselves, what are they saying about this?
These school children who, unfortunately, we couldn't get them on camera or get their voice. But you could see that it was very worrying for some of them, because most of these students depend on these foods or these meals that are being prepared for them in the basic schools. When we spoke to their headmaster, he told us that some of these students around the communities mostly come to school because of the food that is being prepared for them. So if these meals are being halted and they are not being prepared anymore, definitely we will record low attendance in various schools. And that is what we saw today, low attendance, even when teachers are coming in gradually.
Have you been able to reach the school feeding secretariat to get some explanations?
After yesterday, we realized they had a press conference talking about intimidation, not going to be any cause for them to come back to work. And as at yesterday and then today, they have not really said anything about resuming. So it was quite surprising when we got to realize that some of them are still have come to post. So we were even asking questions about that. But they have said that they would not resume fully. So if we go to some of the schools and then we see some cases are post, that means that it's a gradual process. But they are still demanding the unpaid arrears and then also the increase in grants. Up until that is done, we are not going to come back to schools, to the basic schools completely. And then even when we spoke to the leader of the association just this afternoon, She was saying that all those cases in the various schools that we witnessed are going to withdraw their works as soon as possible.
Nana Aisha is in Kumasi, and he's been reporting on the impact of the absence of caterers in our schools. All attempts to get the school feeding secretariat to speak to it has proved futile. We'll definitely bring you as and when we get them to speak. Now, all 7 certified physician assistants arrested by police for protesting at the Ministry of Health premises have been granted bail. The nurses were at the ministry to speak against their delayed postings after 5 years of finishing school, but were sacked from the premises of the ministry while their leaders were arrested by the police. One of their leaders who managed to escape, Benis Abu Obu, says the group will return for an even more massive protest if the police fail to release them. She joins us live via Zoom with more. Good afternoon, Benis. I'm grateful that you're able to join us. How far were your colleague leaders? We understand they had to report to the police station daily. Does that include today, and have they been there already?
So as of yesterday evening, when they were released from police custody, they were asked to return back at exactly 10 a.m. today. But upon calling them and trying to find out if the police had said anything, up till now, the police has not said anything. And according to them, the police are still in a meeting trying to figure out what next. And so now we do not have any more information concerning that.
Tell me more about your plan to intensify your protest to press home your demand. Does it mean you are assembling today as well?
For today, no. For now, we just want to, wait and then see if we are going to get a positive feedback from the secretary yesterday. If the feedback is positive, then we will all just lay down. But we are yet to discuss all these things with the Mother Association and with our people too.
I'm grateful for your time. Benis Obu is certified physician's assistant, and she led the group yesterday. She was one of the leaders who escaped arrest. Meanwhile, the group's parent body, Ghana Physician Assistants Association, has thrown its weight behind the protesters in a statement signed by its national president, Peter Akodugu Ayamba. He called for the immediate release of the protesters that were arrested. And on your election headquarters, the NDC managed to bridge more than a 10,000 vote gap between itself and the NPP in 2016 to less than 2,000 in the last election. Actor John Domelo, who led the NDC to battle in the 2020 election, is facing fierce competition from fellow actor Fred Nuama and lawyer Moses Befie Champon. The process leading up to the May 13 election has been met with allegations of betrayal and efforts to protect John Domelo. Gokwa Santi of our political desk has more.
Following what many described as an outstanding performance in 2020, John Domelo expected that he will run again on the ticket of the NDC unopposed, but he is facing fierce opposition from a person he considers a friend and fellow actor Fred Nuama. John Domelo also has to contend with fast-rising politician and lawyer Moses Befie Champon. But even before the party's nomination will open and close at the time, John Domelo and Fred Nuama were engaged in a media war, accusing each other of betrayal. The NDC made significant inroads in the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency in the last general election and will be hoping to build on that in a bid to wrestle the seat from Deputy Majority Whip Lydia Alhassan. Moses Befie Champon, who is seeking to lead the NDC in that constituency, is alleging a plot to have John Domelo run unopposed.
You know where to stay this election season, your election headquarters. Now, the Regreening Africa project seeks to promote simple land restoration practices to help improve livelihoods, food security, and resilience to climate change for smallholder farmers. Implemented by World Vision Ghana in the northern parts of the country, it has helped many peasant farmers to restore their degraded lands and earn more income from their farming activities. For our climate focus today, Upper East correspondent Albert Sori speaks to Sheikh Ahmed Bashiru, a beneficiary of the Regreening Africa project.
Over the years, severe and prolonged dry seasons, overgrazing, rampant bushfires, and the indiscriminate felling of trees have impacted negatively on the weather and climate in many parts of Ghana. This has also translated to an increased decline in forest cover, loss of indigenous biodiversity, and decreased soil fertility. It is even more serious in the northern parts of Ghana, where the climate is harsher due to fewer tree populations. Bashiru is a peasant farmer in the Warianga community in the Garo district of the Upper East region. Bashiru grows vegetables such as onions, pepper, garden eggs, and tomatoes in the dry season for sale. He also raises seedlings for sale.
Tree growing and then dry seasoning gardening. That is what I've been doing all my life. Based on the work I'm doing here and with the help of World Vision supporting me with funds and other materials such as poly bags that I need to raise my seedling, I have been able to employ 7 workers consisting of 4 women and 7 men who also help me here to raise the seedlings. I pay them.
Sheikh Ahmed Bashiru is a beneficiary of the Regreening Africa project being implemented by World Vision Ghana in the Garo, Timpani, and Boko West districts. The Regreening Africa project seeks to promote land restoration practices to help improve livelihoods, food security, and resilience to climate change for smallholder farmers in the Garo, Timpani, and Boko West districts of the Upper East region, as well as the Mion district of the northern region. It is a European-funded project being implemented in African countries.
The Anopheles stephensi mosquito has been known to resist many insecticides, making it difficult to fight. The question has been, how does the mosquito do this? In the third of our series on Anopheles stephensi, Joy News medical correspondent Dr. Netta Pasram takes a look at how the insect is able to achieve this level of resistance.
We know that the Anopheles stephensi's peak biting times is between
6 to 9 before you go to sleep.
We've also learned that it's able to withstand temperatures
about 3.4 degrees Celsius lower and higher than that of the Anopheles can be.
Here is something else to know about the Anopheles stephensi. Research has found that it is resistant against insecticides.
A class of insecticides known as pyrethroids has been recommended for the control of mosquitoes in many parts of Africa. However, this heavy reliance has caused many of these mosquitoes to develop resistance. A study carried out in 2020 on insecticide resistance in Anopheles stephensi in Somali region found that the mosquito was resistant to several classes of insecticides, including pyrethroids and even DDT.
Yes, insecticides are supposed to be our defense. How does it do this?
So it has 29 insecticide resistant genes being reported in it, which has previously not been covered. And this covers genetic mutations, it covers metabolic enzymes that are capable of degrading. In fact, the whole spectrum of insecticide resistance that we know. It has the genes that are responsible for them have also been identified. I mean, specific genes that are very susceptible to changes All right. In fact, people even described it in such a way that they are point where gene drive could be explored, because they are certain portions of the genes that are changeable.
Regardless, remember to sleep under insecticide-treated mosquito nets, wear long clothing, make use of indoor residual spraying, and don't forget that you can use insect repellents. For Joy News, Dr. Netta Pasram.
Communities in the Amansia West district of the Ashanti region risk exposure to the new breed of mosquitoes due to the increasing number of open pits by illegal miners. Research has shown the new breed Anopheles stephensi poses more danger to humans. The district health directorate says targets to eliminate malaria by 2030 may be missed if open pits are not reclaimed and illegal mining controlled. Nana Ojima was at the ceremony to observe World Malaria Day in the district and has filed this report.
Illegal mining is rife in the Amansia West district, causing devastation to lands and the environment. Pits that have been mined remain opened as new ones are dug daily. District Director of Health Services, Bernard Bedubediakon, says these pits contribute to breeding of mosquitoes in the area.
You know our environment and what's going on. I don't have to talk about it, but there are open drainages, there are open pits as a result of the illegal mining that is going on, and those are breeding sites for the Anopheles mosquito. And if you get bitten by the female Anopheles mosquito who is already infected, then it's likely you're also going to get the malaria. So these are the areas that we are targeting, making sure that we do a lot of public education, social and behavioral change communication, risk communication to the general public.
In 2022, the Amansia West District recorded a rise in cases of malaria in children above 5 years and adults from 12,117 to 13,486 cases. For children under 5 years, cases of malaria reduced from 4,696 to 4,350. Though malaria accounted for 39.8% of all OPD cases, no death was recorded.
Let us sleep under the net, let us keep our surroundings clean. Again, those who are involved in the mining, covering the pits after use, and then we promptly come into the health facility to receive treatment. Very important. And there are some also who, when they come to the hospital, they are given the treatment for the 3 days. They take it one day, they get quite better, and they feel they are okay.
In commemoration of World Malaria Day, Asanko Mines, together with GIZ, donated medical items worth 65,000 euros to the Amansia West and South Health Directorates. A mini clinic was also organized to cater for the health needs of residents of Manso Abori. Ahmed Mohadini Yaya is acting general manager of Asanko Mines.
I wish to take this opportunity to assure our catchment communities of relentless efforts and commitment to fight this disease and healthcare delivery in general. In line with this, Asanko Gold Ghana Limited and its partner GIZ are presenting 2 district health directorates with these medical items we see today.
For Joy News, Nana Ojima, Kumasi.
We're still live on Joy News today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomin. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest coming from the world of business.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Business here on Joy News today with me, Beverly Broom. The Ghana Export and Import Bank says it will provide financial support to SMEs in the handicraft subsector to meet international standards. This, according to the bank, will aid in the purchasing of raw materials and molding equipment that will drive the expansion of the operations. Speaking to Joy Business at a consultative forum, Head of Export Trade Judith Aiken says this is key in the creation of jobs.
The handicraft subsector is an important part of Ghana's economy and cultural heritage. It contributes to employment creation, poverty reduction, and the promotion of Ghana's rich cultural heritage. The handicraft subsector generates foreign exchange earnings for Ghana through exports. Speaking to Joy Business, Head of Export Trade at the Ghana Exim Bank, Judith Aiken said, supporting the sector will provide income for artisans and small businesses, which will contribute to the growth of the local economy.
The handicraft sector has been more like rejected for so long, and so as a bank, as a development bank, Ghana Exim Bank, thought it wise to call them, gather them together, listen to their challenges, and then offer solutions to them. We have products that we thought that we could give them that could support their needs. Products like the export trade facility, products like receivable discounting, products like the provisional guarantee. And so we call them here to have a stakeholder meeting and to meet their needs of their export market. So that's why we're here, basically. It's a sector that we need to zone in on and we need to grow. And so as a bank, we are poised and ready to support them in that regard.
The global handicraft market value for 2022 was $704.7 billion, and the market value is expected to reach $1 billion by 2028. However, Ghana has not positioned itself well enough to tap into this huge market. According to the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Exim Bank, Rosemary Acha, her outfit will boost investment in the handicraft sector to help Ghana achieve the non-traditional export targets in 2029.
Per Act 911, we are supposed to support the Ghanaian exporter directly and indirectly to be competitive in the international marketplace. As an institution which is primarily tasked to support export, we want to provide the following: financing for these handicraft businesses. We want to provide capacity building, and then partner with the Ghana Export Promotion Authority to provide market access. I'm sure you were all here. You heard the first-hand information from these handicraft exporters and producers in Ghana, how they intend to solicit our help to provide this market access. So that is what we are positioned to do, and we are committed to it to ensure that these three areas are met by us as a bank to these exporters and producers of handicraft.
The Stakeholder Consultative Forum was under the theme Facilitating International Trade, the role of Ghana Exim Bank in the handicraft export sector.
Now, some players within Ghana's lottery industry are calling for a more aggressive sanitization push by the regulator to boost the growth of the lottery industry. According to General Manager for Fortune Synergy Company Limited, Albert Osei-Free, local players should leverage the growing popularity of online lottery to ensure market growth. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of its new product called the Mega Fortune, he said the utilization of cutting-edge technologies by the sector will aid in the fight against unemployment.
The growing popularity of online lottery is one of the major drivers propelling market expansion in the lottery sector. The expansion of cell phones and the internet is responsible for the rise in popularity of online lotteries. Speaking to Joy Business, General Manager for Fortune Synergy Company Limited, Albert Osei-Free, said the use of blockchain technology in lottery systems aims to remove middlemen from the lottery process and make the current lottery system transparent by employing a ring signature mechanism that allows players to make fair decisions.
Digital in our space here in Ghana is not well known. So we bringing this to the Ghanaian community. We encourage Ghanaians to put their trust in the digital system. It brings a lot of convenience. People gone in the days will have to walk all the way through the kiosk, through rain, the sun, all the external factors just to take a lottery stake. But we bring you fully digitalized system. You stake in your house, you win in your house, we pay you in your house. anywhere and everywhere you are, we pay to you. So we want you to trust the system. Fully Ghanaian, fully digitalized.
One change in the lottery industry that is expected to have a positive impact on the market in the coming years is the adoption of technologies by lottery operators. Mega Fortune is an indigenous lottery business run by Fortune Synergy and is poised towards making an impact in the lottery industry in Ghana.
You can read more stories on myjoyonline.com/business. I'm Beverly Broom. Next is sports.
Welcome to Midday. It's time for sports. My name is Haruna Mubarak. Now, Ghana put up a good performance to win medals at the ongoing Western Africa Table Tennis Championship at the Bukom Boxing Arena. Now, Joy Sports Lawrence Bade was there and has this report.
First to win more medals at the 2023 Western Africa Table Tennis Championship got off to a good start on day 2 following the men and women teams' participation in the medal stage on Tuesday at the Trust Sports Emporium. The women's team recorded a 3-1 victory over Benin to claim the silver medal. Coach of the women's team, Ebenezer Annan White, talked about the importance of Ghana's win.
This means a lot for Team Ghana because she played against the Benin top player. In terms of singles now, she's qualified. We are qualified to the round of 16. Yes. So from here, we are moving to the round of 16.
Ghana's Cynthia Kwabi beat competition from Benin to book a place in the knockout stages of the women's singles and says she hopes to win a medal from there.
This win is a very great win for me. As you can see, this is my second win. I'm topping my group, and I think it is a good opportunity for me to move to the next stage. So I think with the next stage, I will do my maximum best to win my subsequent matches.
Bello Fatimo has won the Western African Singles Championship title on 3 occasions and told Joy Sports she hopes to defend the colors of Nigeria once again in Accra.
Well, there are many best players here. There are many best players here. They are because I have good players. The Benin, the Ghanaians, they are good players. In this West African Region Championship, I've won it 3 times, and I will try my best to defend my cup. Yeah.
In the men's team game, Ghana faced off competition from Ivory Coast, with both teams taking home bronze medals. Despite defeat in the men's singles, Ghana's coach says the team put in a good performance and hopes to get better as the competition progresses.
As a coach, I'm really impressed with the performance of our boys. You could see that we fielded new faces. That means we've replenished our team with new faces, and this is the ones we've presented here. I must say that we've lost the match, but it was a good fight. We didn't lose, on a silver platter. We did fight to ensure that probably we may win, but we couldn't. This is table tennis. You may lose the first match, but then you may progress, to even the finals. So we are just hoping that we'll do better, with the subsequent matches that we have.
Felix Lati came into the championship as Ghana's top seed and has not disappointed the many who have shown trust in him. He says the aim is to take it one game at a time and win a medal for his country.
I'm playing like match after match, and I'm playing according to my coach. Coach instruction. So, let's hope for the best.
The tournament continues on Wednesday with the singles categories moving into the knockout rounds.
Well, let's see how the game pans out tonight. That's all for sports here on Midday with me, Haruna Mubarak.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News. And our legendary reggae group Morgan Heritage has described their new album, The Homeland, as purely African and means a lot to the culture. The group spoke to my colleague Ibrahim Bembako.
Now it's time to do something
different and meaningful. And that's why we chose world music, and within world music we chose African music.
Why African? That is the thing.
Because
Why African?
we are black people. Simple. You understand? The essence of our DNA is blackness, is Africa. So why not Africa? You ask me why Africa? Why not Africa? You answer that for me.
Yeah, you see, as Rastafarians, we look to Africa. From we were youth, that's where we were raised as Rastafarian children in the 12 Tribes of Israel organization. So, as adults now that's traveled across the continent, I think we just reach a point in our career where we're ready to illustrate all that we've learned on our journey. The culture that we've embraced, the languages that we've encountered, the energy of the people that we fell in love with. You feel all of that embodied in the whole entire album called The Homeland.
It was really just over the years, us traveling as Morgan Heritage to do these festivals, and along doing the concerts in these countries, you know, went out of our way to say, who's the local artist, or people, the promoters locally would say, you have to meet this new artist, he's doing very good. And then we met them, we was impressed, and we just built the relationship, and eventually when we came up with the idea to go in the studio, we reached out to these artists, and then the rest was history, man.
Well, on that note, we end Showbiz here on Joy News today. There's more Showbiz news in a subsequent bulletins also on myjoyonline.com. My name is Becky. Good afternoon to you, Aisha.
Hello, beautiful Becky. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Happy belated
happy Eid
for you. Yeah.
Thank you, Becky.
I was going to say Easter.
And that's how we wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories to enjoy the rest of our programs.